Hello, my beautiful friend. I want you to take a moment right now to just breathe with me. Take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. Feel yourself settling into this moment, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. I know that if you're here with me today, there's something stirring in your heart about money, about abundance, about creating a different kind of life for yourself. And I want you to know that whatever brought you here, whatever struggles you might be facing with money right now, you are not alone. I see you. I see the worry that keeps you up at night, wondering how the bills will get paid. I see the frustration when you look at your bank account and feel that familiar knot in your stomach. I see the dreams you've put on hold because money feels so hard to come by. And I also see the part of you that refuses to give up, the part that brought you here today because deep down, you know there has to be another way. That part of you is so wise, and I honor it completely. You know, in all my years of working with people, one thing has become crystal clear to me. The relationship we have with money is really the relationship we have with ourselves. And if that relationship has been filled with struggle and worry, it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's not because you're not smart enough or good enough or worthy enough. It's simply because somewhere along the way you learned some ideas about money that aren't serving you anymore. Today, we're going to change that. We're going to create a new relationship with abundance that starts from the inside out. And I'm going to share with you something so simple, yet so powerful, that when you do it consistently for just a few minutes each day, it will begin to transform not just how you think about money, but how money shows up in your life. I want you to feel safe here with me. This is a place where you can be honest about your fears, where you can acknowledge that maybe you've made some financial mistakes in the past, where you can admit that sometimes you feel scared or overwhelmed about money. All of that is okay. In fact, it's more than okay. It's the beginning of healing, because when we can be truthful about where we are, we can start to move toward where we want to be. You don't have to figure this all out today. You don't have to become wealthy overnight. You don't have to have all the answers right now. All you need is a willingness to try something different, to open your heart to the possibility that your life can change in beautiful ways. And that willingness, that little spark of hope that brought you here, that's enough. That's everything we need to begin. So let's take another breath together and let's open our hearts to what wants to unfold. Let's create space for something wonderful to happen. Your breakthrough is coming, my dear friend, and it starts right here, right now, with this conversation between us. Now, let's talk about something that might surprise you. The state of your bank account right now has very little to do with your actual ability to create wealth. What it reflects, instead, is the state of your inner world. It reflects the thoughts you've been thinking, the beliefs you've been carrying, and the stories you've been telling yourself about money and about your own worthiness to have it. This might sound strange at first, but stay with me. From the moment we're born, we begin absorbing messages about money from the world around us. We hear our parents talking about bills and stress. We watch them worry or argue about finances. We pick up on their feelings of fear or shame or anger around money. And our little minds, in their attempt to make sense of the world, begin to form beliefs based on what we observe. Maybe you heard things like, money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford that, or rich people are greedy. Maybe you watched your parents work themselves to exhaustion just to make ends meet. Maybe you learned that talking about money was uncomfortable or inappropriate. All of these experiences created neural pathways in your brain, little highways that your thoughts travel down automatically whenever money comes up in your life. Here's what's so important to understand. These beliefs that were formed in your childhood, they're not facts about money or about you. They're simply ideas that got planted in your mind before you had the ability to choose whether you wanted to believe them or not. And the beautiful thing about being an adult is that now you do have that choice. You can look at these old beliefs and ask yourself, is this serving me? Is this helping me create the life I want? Is this true? The connection between your self-worth and your financial worth runs deeper than most people realize. If somewhere inside you believe that you don't deserve good things, that you're not smart enough or talented enough or worthy enough, then your outer world will reflect that back to you. Your income, your savings, your opportunities, they all become mirrors of what you believe to be true about yourself. But here's the miracle. When you begin to change what you believe about yourself, when you start to see yourself as worthy and deserving and capable, your outer world begins to shift too. It has to, because the universe is always responding to the energy you're putting out. When you change your inner landscape, your outer landscape changes to match it. This isn't about positive thinking or pretending everything is perfect when it's not. This is about recognizing that your thoughts have power, that they're creating your reality every single day. And if you've been unconsciously creating struggle and limitation, you can just as easily begin consciously creating abundance and flow. Think about water for a moment. Water always seeks its own level. If you pour water into a container, it will naturally settle at the same height throughout the container. Your life works the same way. Your outer circumstances will always rise or fall to match the level of your inner beliefs about what you deserve and what's possible for you. This is actually wonderful news because it means you have so much more power than you might have realized. You're not at the mercy of the economy or your boss or your circumstances. You're not stuck where you are forever. You have the ability to change your inner landscape, and when you do, everything else begins to change too. The mind-body connection is real and powerful when it comes to money. When you think thoughts of scarcity and limitation, your body responds with stress. Your shoulders tense up, your breathing becomes shallow, your stomach might feel tight. This stress response actually blocks your creativity and your ability to see opportunities. It keeps you focused on what's wrong instead of what's possible. But when you begin to think thoughts of abundance and possibility, your body relaxes. You breathe more deeply, your shoulders drop, you feel more open and expansive. In this state, you're naturally more creative, more intuitive, more able to notice opportunities that were always there but that you couldn't see before. Your body is always listening to your thoughts and responding accordingly. When you consistently think thoughts of lack and struggle, you create a body chemistry that matches those thoughts. But when you begin to think thoughts of abundance and worthiness, you create a different body chemistry altogether. And from this place of feeling good in your body, you make different choices, you take different actions, you attract different experiences. So you see, changing your relationship with money isn't just about thinking different thoughts. It's about creating a whole new way of being in the world, a way that feels good in your body and aligns with what you really want to experience. And that's exactly what we're going to do together. Now let's gently explore what might have been standing in your way. I want you to know that there's no judgment here, no shame, no criticism. We're simply going to look with loving eyes at some of the patterns that might have been keeping you stuck so that we can begin to set you free. One of the most common beliefs that blocks people from abundance is the idea that they're not worthy of having money. This belief often runs so deep that people aren't even conscious of it. It might show up as feeling guilty when you spend money on yourself, or as sabotaging your success right when things start going well, or as a persistent feeling that good things happen to other people but not to you. This unworthiness often stems from messages we received in childhood about not being good enough, or from religious or cultural teachings that suggested there was something noble about struggle and something wrong with having wealth. But the truth is, you were born worthy. Your worthiness isn't something you have to earn or prove. It's part of your very essence, part of who you are at the deepest level. Another pattern that keeps people stuck is the belief that money is scarce, that there's not enough to go around, that for you to have more, someone else has to have less. This scarcity thinking creates a constant state of worry and competition. It makes you hold on to money too tightly out of fear, or it makes you push money away because you feel guilty about having it when others don't. But money is not like a pie where there are only so many pieces to go around. Money is energy, and like all energy, it's infinite. The universe is abundantly creative and is always finding new ways to circulate resources. When you allow yourself to receive and enjoy money, you're actually contributing to the flow of abundance for everyone. Fear is another major block to abundance. Fear of not having enough, fear of losing what you have, fear of making the wrong financial decisions, fear of being judged for having money or for not having money. This fear creates a vibration of lack that actually attracts more experiences of not having enough. It's like being in a constant state of emergency, which prevents you from thinking clearly and making good decisions. Many people also carry unconscious anger toward money itself. Maybe money was used as a weapon in your family, or maybe you watched money change people in ways you didn't like. Maybe you learned to associate money with greed or corruption or losing your integrity. This anger creates resistance to money flowing into your life because part of you doesn't want to be associated with something you see as negative. There's also the pattern of feeling like you have to work incredibly hard for money, like you have to struggle and sacrifice and prove your worth through suffering. This belief creates a life of exhaustion and stress, where you might make money but you're too tired to enjoy it. It also limits how much money you can make, because there are only so many hours in a day and only so much struggle your body can handle. Some people have learned to use financial struggle as their identity. Being broke or worried about money becomes familiar, and even though it's uncomfortable, it's what they know. The idea of actually having money feels foreign and scary because they wouldn't know who they were without the struggle. This pattern keeps people sabotaging their success because success would mean stepping into unknown territory. Perfectionism is another subtle but powerful block. Waiting until you know everything about investing before you start, or until you have the perfect business plan, or until you feel completely confident. This perfectionism is often fear in disguise, and it keeps you stuck in planning and researching without ever taking action. All of these patterns are learned responses, which means they can be unlearned. They're not permanent parts of who you are. They're simply habits of thinking that have been running automatically in the background of your mind. And just like you can learn to ride a bike or drive a car, you can learn new ways of thinking about money and about yourself. The beautiful thing about recognizing these patterns is that recognition is the first step toward freedom. Once you can see what's been happening, you can begin to make different choices. You can start to catch yourself when you're thinking thoughts of lack or unworthiness, and you can gently redirect your mind toward thoughts that serve you better. This isn't about forcing yourself to think positive thoughts when you're feeling scared or worried. It's about compassionately acknowledging where you are while also opening to where you want to go. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness you would show a dear friend who was struggling. And from this place of self-compassion, real change becomes possible. Your mind is like a garden, and the thoughts you think consistently are the seeds you're planting every single day. Just as a gardener who plants flowers will eventually have a garden full of beautiful blooms, when you plant loving, abundant thoughts consistently, you will eventually see those thoughts bloom into your physical reality. This is the magic of daily repetition, and it's one of the most powerful tools you have for transforming your life. You see, your mind learns through repetition. When you were a child learning to walk, you didn't do it just once and then master it forever. You tried again and again, falling down, getting back up, taking another step. Your brain was creating new neural pathways with each attempt, strengthening the connections that would eventually allow you to walk without even thinking about it. The same process happens with your thoughts about money and abundance. Every thought you think is creating a neural pathway in your brain. When you think the same thought repeatedly, that pathway becomes stronger and more automatic. This is why negative thought patterns can feel so persistent and hard to change. It's not because they're true or because you're weak. It's simply because those pathways have been traveled so many times that they've become highways in your mind. But here's what's so beautiful about your brain. It has something called neuroplasticity, which means it can change and create new pathways at any age. You're never too old, never too set in your ways, never too damaged to rewire your thinking. Every single day, you have the opportunity to choose which pathways you want to strengthen and which ones you want to let fade away from lack of use. When you consistently feed your mind loving, abundant thoughts, something wonderful begins to happen. Those new thoughts start to feel more natural, more automatic. The old patterns of worry and scarcity begin to feel foreign and uncomfortable. Your mind literally rewires itself to support abundance instead of struggle. This isn't wishful thinking or fantasy. This is how your brain actually works. The key is consistency, not perfection. You don't have to think abundant thoughts every single moment of every single day. You just need to choose to plant those seeds regularly, to water them with your attention and intention. Even just a few minutes each day of conscious, loving thoughts can begin to transform your entire mental landscape. Think of it like learning a new language. At first, you have to consciously think about each word, each sentence structure. It feels awkward and unfamiliar, but as you practice consistently, day after day, it becomes more natural. Eventually, you find yourself thinking in that new language without effort. The same thing happens when you begin to speak the language of abundance to yourself. Daily repetition also builds trust with yourself. Each time you show up for your practice, each time you choose loving thoughts over fearful ones, you're proving to yourself that you're worthy of care and attention. You're demonstrating that you're committed to your own healing and growth. This trust becomes a foundation that supports all the other changes you want to make in your life. Your subconscious mind is always listening to the messages you give it. It doesn't judge or analyze these messages. It simply accepts them as instructions and goes about creating experiences that match what you're telling it. When you consistently tell your subconscious mind that you are worthy, that abundance is natural, that money flows to you easily, it begins to look for ways to make that true. The repetition also helps you catch and redirect the old patterns when they arise. As you become more familiar with how abundant thinking feels in your body, you'll quickly notice when you've slipped back into scarcity thinking. And instead of judging yourself for it, you can simply and gently guide your thoughts back to abundance, just like you would guide a young child who had wandered off the path. This is where the power of writing comes in, and it's what I want to share with you next. There's something magical that happens when you put pen to paper and write out loving thoughts about yourself and your worthiness to receive abundance. Writing engages both your mind and your body in a way that simply thinking doesn't do. When you write by hand, you're activating different parts of your brain than when you just think a thought, or even when you type. The physical act of forming letters and words creates a deeper neural pathway. It's as if you're literally writing new programming into your consciousness. Your hand is moving, your eyes are seeing the words appear on paper, and your mind is focused on each word as you write it. This triple engagement makes the message much more powerful than if you were just thinking it. There's also something about the slower pace of writing that allows each word to really sink in. When you think a thought, it can flash through your mind in an instant, but when you write that same thought, you have to slow down and really be present with each word. This presence, this mindful attention, is what gives the words their power to create change. The specific practice I want to share with you is beautifully simple, yet incredibly powerful. Every morning, as part of your daily routine, you're going to write this affirmation 10 times. I am worthy of abundance, and money flows to me easily and naturally. Just those simple words, written 10 times every single day. Now, this might seem almost too simple to work. Your mind might be saying, how can just writing one sentence change my financial situation? But please don't let the simplicity fool you. Some of the most powerful changes in life come from simple, consistent actions. A river doesn't carve a canyon in a day. It carves it one drop at a time, flowing consistently in the same direction. As you write each line, I want you to really feel the words. Don't just write them mechanically, like you're copying something. Instead, imagine that each word is true. Feel what it would be like to truly believe that you are worthy of abundance. Feel what it would be like to have money flowing to you easily and naturally. Let your body relax into the possibility of these words being your reality. You might notice resistance when you first start this practice. Part of your mind might argue with the words, might say things like, that's not true, or you don't deserve that, or that's impossible. This resistance is completely normal. It's just your old programming trying to stay in control. Don't fight with it or judge it. Simply acknowledge it with compassion and continue writing. The best time to do this practice is first thing in the morning, before your conscious mind gets busy with all the tasks and worries of the day. Keep a special notebook just for this purpose and a pen that feels good in your hand. Make this a sacred ritual, a loving gift you give yourself each morning. Some days you might feel the truth of the words deeply. Other days you might feel like you're just going through the motions. Both are perfectly fine. The key is to show up consistently, regardless of how you feel. The practice works whether you believe it completely or not. In fact, it's often the days when you feel most resistant that the practice is doing its deepest work. You might find it helpful to read the words aloud as you write them, adding the power of your voice to the practice. Or you might prefer to write in silence, really focusing on the feeling of each word as it flows from your pen onto the paper. Trust your intuition about what feels best for you. The magic happens not just in the writing, but in what occurs throughout your day as a result of starting your morning with these loving words. You'll find that you notice opportunities you might have missed before. You'll feel more confident about making financial decisions. You'll attract people and situations that support your abundance. These aren't coincidences. These are the natural results of aligning your inner world with what you want to experience. Now, you might be wondering how exactly this inner work translates into real, tangible changes in your outer world. How do thoughts and feelings actually become money in your bank account, opportunities in your career, abundance in your daily life? This is where we need to understand the profound connection between your inner landscape and your physical reality. Everything in your physical world began as a thought or an idea. The chair you're sitting on was once just an idea in someone's mind. The building you're in, the technology you're using, even the money in circulation, all of it started as invisible thoughts that eventually became visible, tangible things. Your financial reality follows the same principle. It's the physical manifestation of the thoughts and beliefs you've been holding about money and about your own worthiness to have it. When you hold thoughts of scarcity and limitation, your body responds by creating stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These chemicals actually change your physiology in ways that make you less creative, less intuitive, and less able to see opportunities. Your peripheral vision literally narrows when you're in a stress state. You become focused on problems and dangers instead of possibilities and solutions. But when you consistently hold thoughts of abundance and worthiness, your body produces different chemicals altogether. Hormones like dopamine and serotonin flood your system, creating feelings of well-being and optimism. In this state, your brain is more creative, more open to new ideas, more able to make connections and see patterns. You literally perceive a different world when you're in an abundant state of mind. This shift in perception is crucial because opportunities are always around you. But when you're in a state of lack and worry, you simply can't see them. It's like trying to find something in a dark room. The objects are there, but without light. You'll keep bumping into things instead of finding what you're looking for. Abundant thinking turns on the lights, allowing you to see clearly what was always there. Your energy field also changes when you change your thoughts. Though science is still exploring how this works, what we know is that when you feel good about yourself and optimistic about your future, people respond to you differently. You become more magnetic, more attractive to opportunities and to people who can help you. You start showing up differently in job interviews, in business meetings, in casual conversations. This isn't about pretending or putting on a false front. This is about your genuine energy shift being felt by others. The signs that your inner world is changing often appear before you see major external changes. You might notice that you feel more at peace when you check your bank account. You might find yourself making different choices about how you spend your time and money. You might start having conversations about opportunities that you never would have pursued before. Small synchronicities begin to appear. You might think about needing extra money and then receive an unexpected check in the mail. You might hear about a job opportunity from a friend at exactly the right moment. You might find money-saving deals on things you need. These aren't accidents. These are signs that your vibration is shifting and that the universe is responding to your new energy. You might also notice that you stop tolerating situations that don't serve you. That job that pays barely enough might start feeling unbearable, not because it got worse, but because you're starting to believe you deserve better. This dissatisfaction isn't a step backward. It's actually a sign that you're growing, that your consciousness is expanding to include bigger possibilities. The key is to pay attention to these subtle shifts and to celebrate them. Don't wait for the $1 million to appear before you acknowledge that the process is working. Notice and appreciate every small sign that your relationship with money is healing. This appreciation actually accelerates the process, creating momentum that builds on itself. Sometimes people expect dramatic overnight changes, and when they don't see them immediately, they assume the practice isn't working. But real, lasting transformation usually happens gradually, like the way spring arrives. One day you notice a single bud on a tree, then a few more, then suddenly the whole tree is in bloom. Your abundance breakthrough is coming in the same way, building momentum beneath the surface until it bursts forth into your visible reality. Trust the process, even when you can't see all the evidence yet. Your consistent practice is creating changes at levels you might not even be aware of. Keep writing, keep feeling into the truth of your worthiness. Keep noticing the small shifts. Your breakthrough is not a matter of if, but when, and that when is coming sooner than you think. One of the most beautiful and necessary parts of creating abundance in your life is learning to release the old patterns and beliefs that have been keeping you stuck. This isn't about judging yourself harshly for past financial mistakes or beating yourself up for the times you acted out of fear. This is about approaching your healing with the same gentle compassion you would offer a dear friend who was hurting. Let's start by acknowledging that you've done the best you could with what you knew at the time. Every financial decision you've made, every mistake you've experienced, every moment of struggle you've been through, you were doing your best with the consciousness and resources you had available then. There's no need to carry guilt or shame about any of it. Those experiences have brought you wisdom, and they've brought you here to this moment where you're ready to create something different. Forgiveness is not about pretending that difficult things didn't happen or that they didn't matter. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the heavy energy of resentment, guilt, and regret, so that you can move forward with lightness and clarity. When you carry anger toward yourself about money, that anger becomes a wall that blocks abundance from flowing into your life. Maybe you're carrying guilt about a business that failed, or debt you accumulated, or an investment that didn't work out. Maybe you're angry at yourself for not starting sooner, for not knowing better, for making what now seems like an obvious mistake. All of these feelings are understandable, but they're not serving you anymore. It's time to let them go with love. Take a moment right now to place your hand on your heart and say these words. I forgive myself completely for any financial mistakes I've made. I did the best I could with what I knew then. I release the past with love and open my heart to new possibilities. Feel the relief that comes with this forgiveness. Feel how it creates space in your heart for something new to enter. Many of the money patterns you're releasing weren't even yours to begin with. They were inherited from your family, passed down through generations like family recipes or traditions. Your great-grandmother's fear of poverty during the Depression might still be living in your cells. Your father's belief that rich people are greedy might be unconsciously influencing your relationship with success. Your mother's pattern of self-sacrifice might be keeping you from charging what you're worth. These inherited patterns aren't your fault, and they're not even necessarily true. They were survival strategies that helped your ancestors get through difficult times. But what served them then might not serve you now. You can honor your family's journey while choosing different beliefs for yourself. You can break the chain of financial struggle and create a new legacy of abundance for the generations that come after you. Healing your relationship with money itself is another crucial piece of this work. Money is simply energy. It's a tool for exchange, a way to circulate resources in the world. But because of our experiences and conditioning, many of us have complicated feelings about money. We might see it as dirty or corrupting, or we might worship it as the solution to all our problems. Both of these perspectives create imbalance. The truth is that money is neutral. It's what we do with it, how we earn it, and how we think about it that gives it meaning. Money can be used to create beautiful things, to help people, to express love and generosity. It can also be used in ways that cause harm, but the money itself isn't good or bad. It simply reflects the consciousness of the person using it. As you heal your relationship with money, you're learning to see it as a friend rather than an enemy or a master. You're learning to appreciate it for the freedom and opportunities it provides, while not defining your worth by how much of it you have. You're learning to receive it gracefully and spend it wisely, to save it lovingly and share it generously. This healing process takes time, and that's perfectly okay. Be patient with yourself as old fears surface and as you practice new ways of thinking and being. Each time you choose love over fear, each time you choose abundance, thinking over scarcity thinking, you're healing not just your own relationship with money, but contributing to the healing of the collective consciousness around wealth and abundance. Creating space for new possibilities means releasing attachment to how things have been and opening your mind to how they could be. It means being willing to step outside your comfort zone, to try new approaches, to believe in opportunities that might seem too good to be true. This requires courage, but it's a gentle kind of courage that comes from knowing you're worthy of good things. As you continue this practice of writing your affirmation each morning, as you continue to choose loving thoughts about yourself and money, you're creating a clear channel for abundance to flow into your life. You're removing the blocks and barriers that have been keeping your good away from you. And with each day of practice, you're becoming more and more aligned with the abundant life that is your birthright. Now that you're releasing old patterns and healing your relationship with money, it's time to start consciously building your new wealth consciousness. This is where you begin to cultivate the thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that will support abundance in becoming your new normal. Building wealth consciousness isn't about forcing yourself to feel rich when you don't, or pretending you have money when you don't. It's about developing the inner qualities and perspectives that wealthy people naturally possess. The first step in building wealth consciousness is learning to feel abundant in small ways every single day. Abundance isn't just about having lots of money. It's a way of seeing and experiencing life. When you wake up in the morning and feel grateful for the comfortable bed you slept in, you're experiencing abundance. When you take a hot shower and appreciate the luxury of clean, warm water, you're experiencing abundance. When you eat a delicious meal or spend time with someone you love, you're experiencing abundance. These moments of appreciation are like deposits in your abundance account. The more you notice and savor the good things that are already present in your life, the more you train your brain to look for abundance rather than lack. This shift in perspective is crucial because what you focus on expands. When you consistently focus on what's working, what's flowing, what's beautiful in your life, you naturally attract more of the same. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for building wealth consciousness because it immediately shifts your vibration from lack to abundance. When you're genuinely grateful, you can't simultaneously be worried or fearful. Gratitude is like sunshine that melts away the clouds of anxiety and opens your heart to receive more good things. Start each day by writing down 3 things you're grateful for that involve abundance in any form. Maybe you're grateful for the free sunrise you witnessed, or for a friend who gave you helpful advice, or for finding a parking space right when you needed it. These might seem like small things, but they're all forms of abundance flowing into your life. The more you acknowledge and appreciate these gifts, the more gifts the universe wants to give you. Small shifts in your daily choices and habits can create profound changes over time. Wealthy people think differently about time, money, opportunities, and relationships. You can start adopting these perspectives right now, regardless of your current financial situation. For example, wealthy people invest in their education and personal growth because they understand that knowledge and skills are assets that can never be taken away. You can start doing this too, even if it's just reading one book about money or watching one educational video each week. Wealthy people also understand the power of taking calculated risks and saying yes to opportunities, even when they feel a little scary. They know that growth happens outside the comfort zone. You can start practicing this by saying yes to opportunities that align with your goals, even if they feel challenging or unfamiliar. Another wealth consciousness habit is thinking in terms of value rather than just price. Instead of always looking for the cheapest option, start asking yourself what will provide the most value in the long term. This doesn't mean spending money you don't have, but it does mean making decisions based on quality, durability, and long-term benefit rather than just immediate cost. Begin to see opportunities where others see problems. When wealthy people encounter a challenge, they immediately start looking for the opportunity hidden within it. They ask questions like, how can I solve this in a way that benefits everyone? Or, what can I learn from this situation that will help me in the future? You can start training your mind to think this way too. Start speaking about money in positive terms. Instead of saying, I can't afford it, try saying, I'm choosing to spend my money on other priorities right now. Instead of I'm broke, try I'm in a rebuilding phase. Instead of "money is tight," try "I'm being mindful about my spending." These small changes in language might seem insignificant, but they create very different feelings in your body and send very different messages to your subconscious mind. Pay attention to the energy you bring to financial conversations and decisions. When you approach money matters with stress and anxiety, you make poor decisions. When you approach them with calm confidence, even if you don't have all the answers, you make much better choices. Practice taking 3 deep breaths before any financial conversation or decision. This simple act helps activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which allows you to think more clearly and creatively. Surround yourself as much as possible with people who have a healthy relationship with money and success. This doesn't mean you need to abandon friends who are struggling, but it does mean seeking out relationships with people who inspire you and who believe in abundance rather than limitation. Their energy and perspectives will naturally influence your own consciousness in positive ways. Begin to celebrate your financial wins, no matter how small they might seem. Did you stick to your budget this week? Celebrate it. Did you negotiate a better price on something? Celebrate it. Did you resist an impulse purchase that you would have regretted? Celebrate it. These celebrations program your subconscious mind to seek out more experiences worth celebrating. As you consistently practice these small shifts, you'll begin to notice that abundance becomes your natural state of being, rather than something you have to work hard to achieve. You'll find yourself naturally attracting opportunities, making wiser financial decisions, and feeling more confident about your financial future. This is your new wealth consciousness taking root and beginning to flourish. Creating lasting change requires more than just good intentions and positive thoughts. It requires a supportive environment and practical tools that help you maintain your new mindset, especially when challenges arise. Building a strong foundation for your daily practice will ensure that your wealth consciousness continues to grow and flourish, even during difficult times. The environment you create for your daily writing practice matters more than you might think. Choose a specific place in your home where you'll do your writing each morning, a place that feels peaceful and sacred to you. It might be a corner of your bedroom, a spot at your kitchen table, or even outside in your garden if weather permits. The key is consistency. When you use the same space every day, that space begins to hold the energy of your intention and practice. Keep your special notebook and pen in this designated space, so everything you need is ready and waiting for you each morning. Some people like to light a candle or burn incense during their practice, creating a ritual that signals to their subconscious mind that this is sacred time. Others prefer to have a cup of tea or coffee as part of their morning abundance ritual. Find what feels right for you and make it a beautiful, nurturing experience. Resistance will arise from time to time, and this is completely normal. Your old patterns didn't develop overnight, and they won't disappear overnight either. Some mornings you might wake up feeling skeptical about the practice. You might think it's silly or pointless. You might feel too busy or stressed to take the few minutes required. This resistance is just your old programming trying to keep you safe in familiar territory, even if that territory isn't serving you. When resistance shows up, acknowledge it with compassion rather than fighting against it. You might say to yourself, "I notice that part of me feels resistant to this practice today, and that's okay. I'm going to do it anyway because I'm committed to my growth." Then gently proceed with your writing, even if you don't feel enthusiastic about it. Sometimes the days when you feel most resistant are the days when the practice is doing its deepest work. If you miss a day, don't use it as an excuse to give up entirely. Self-compassion is crucial for long-term success. Simply acknowledge that you missed a day, forgive yourself completely, and begin again the next morning. The power isn't in perfection, it's in consistency over time. One missed day doesn't erase all the good work you've been doing. To strengthen your new mindset throughout the day, carry a small card with your affirmation written on it. Whenever you find yourself thinking thoughts of lack or limitation, take out the card and read your affirmation silently to yourself. This helps you catch negative thought patterns before they gain momentum and redirects your mind back to abundance thinking. Another powerful tool is to end each day by writing down 3 good things that happened, particularly anything related to money or abundance. Maybe someone paid you a compliment, or you found a great deal on something you needed, or you received an unexpected email about a potential opportunity. This practice trains your brain to notice the good things that are already flowing into your life and creates positive momentum for the next day. Create visual reminders of abundance around your living space. This might be a vision board with pictures of things you want to experience, or simply placing fresh flowers on your table to remind yourself that beautiful things are always available to you. Some people like to keep a few coins or bills in a pretty bowl where they can see them regularly, not to hoard money, but to normalize having money around and to appreciate it as a tool for good. Consider reading books or listening to podcasts about money and success from people who have healthy relationships with wealth. This continued education helps reinforce your new beliefs and gives you practical strategies for building abundance. Choose resources that feel uplifting and empowering rather than ones that create pressure or make you feel inadequate. Building momentum happens naturally when you stay consistent with your practice. Each day of writing your affirmation is like adding another drop of water to a bucket. At first, you might not see much happening, but eventually the bucket begins to fill. And then one day, it overflows, and that overflow becomes your breakthrough into a new level of abundance. Track your progress in a journal or notebook separate from your daily affirmation practice. Write down any shifts you notice in your thinking, any opportunities that present themselves, any improvements in your financial situation, no matter how small. This record becomes evidence that the practice is working and motivates you to continue even when progress feels slow. Remember that building wealth consciousness is a lifelong journey, not a destination. There will always be new levels of abundance to explore, new limiting beliefs to heal, new opportunities to embrace. Embrace this journey with curiosity and excitement rather than impatience or pressure. Every step forward is worth celebrating, and every day of practice is an investment in your beautiful future. My dear friend, we've reached the place where your new beginning starts to take shape. I can feel your energy shifting as we've been together in this conversation. Something beautiful has awakened in you, hasn't it? That spark of possibility, that whisper of hope that says, yes, things can be different for me. That voice is your inner wisdom speaking, and it's telling you the truth. You are standing at the threshold of a completely new relationship with abundance. Everything you need to create the life you desire is already within you. You don't need to become someone different or wait until you're more worthy or smarter or better prepared. You are ready now, exactly as you are. The only thing that needed to change was your willingness to see yourself as deserving of all the good things life has to offer. Your worthiness isn't something you need to earn through struggle or prove through suffering. It's not dependent on your past mistakes or your current circumstances. Your worthiness is woven into the very fabric of your being. You were born worthy of love, of joy, of abundance, of all the beautiful experiences this life has to offer. Nothing you've done or failed to do has changed that fundamental truth about who you are. The practice I've shared with you today is simple, but don't let its simplicity fool you into thinking it's not powerful. Some of the most profound transformations happen through simple, consistent actions taken with love and intention. Your daily writing practice is like planting seeds in the garden of your consciousness. You might not see the growth immediately, but trust that something beautiful is happening beneath the surface. As you move forward, there will be days when you feel excited and hopeful about your future. There will also be days when doubt creeps in and the old patterns try to reassert themselves. Both of these experiences are part of the journey. The key is to keep coming back to your practice, keep choosing love over fear, keep believing in possibilities even when you can't see all the evidence yet. Remember that your breakthrough is not just about money, it's about discovering your own power to create change in your life. It's about learning to trust yourself, to love yourself, to see yourself as the magnificent being you truly are. As you transform your relationship with money, you'll find that your relationships with other people improve too. Your health might get better. Your creativity might flourish. Your whole life can shift when you begin to see yourself as worthy of good things. You don't have to do this journey alone. The universe is conspiring to support you in ways you might not even be aware of yet. Opportunities will present themselves. The right people will show up at the right time. Resources will become available to you. Trust this process, even when you can't see how it's all going to work out. Your consistent practice of writing, "I am worthy of abundance and money," flows to me easily and naturally 10 times each morning is your declaration to the universe that you're ready to receive. It's your daily commitment to yourself and your dreams. It's your way of saying, "I believe in my own worthiness, and I'm open to all the good that wants to come into my life." Some mornings, those words will feel absolutely true in every cell of your body. Other mornings, they might feel like a stretch, like something you're aspiring to rather than something you completely believe. Both experiences are perfect. The practice works regardless of how much you believe it in any given moment. Your willingness to show up and write those words is enough. As the weeks and months go by, you'll begin to notice changes that might surprise you. You'll make different choices about how you spend your time and energy. You'll speak up for yourself in ways you never have before. You'll pursue opportunities that the old you might have been too scared to consider. You'll attract people and circumstances that support your growing abundance consciousness. These changes won't happen because you forced them or because you followed some complicated formula. They'll happen naturally, organically, as a result of your shifting inner landscape. When you change how you see yourself, the world responds by showing you experiences that match your new self-perception. Be patient with the process and gentle with yourself. Real transformation takes time, and every person's journey unfolds in its own perfect timing. Don't compare your progress to anyone else's. Don't judge yourself if change feels slow. Trust that every day of practice is moving you closer to your breakthrough, even when you can't see the evidence yet. I want to leave you with one final affirmation, one that encompasses not just your financial abundance, but your overall well-being and happiness. I am worthy of all good things. I trust the process of life to bring me everything I need for my highest good. I am grateful for this moment and excited about my beautiful future. Your wealth breakthrough is coming, my dear friend. It's not a matter of if, but when. And that when is closer than you think. Keep writing, keep believing, keep opening your heart to the abundance that is your birthright. You were born to thrive, and now you have the tools to make that thriving a reality. I believe in you completely. Now it's time for you to believe in yourself just as completely. Your beautiful new beginning starts today with the very next affirmation you write. Welcome to your abundant life.